Hello everyone, myself Charanjit Singh. In this part of the video, I am going to continue this chapter number 3, periodic table. And in this video, we are going to discuss about periodic trends and properties of the elements. So in this module, we are going to discuss the variation of the properties of elements along the period and along the group, means they are increasing or decreasing. So in this trends, we will discuss about atomic size, metallic character, non-metallic character, ionization enthalpy, electron gain enthalpy, and electron negativity. These three you already have studied in 10th class, but I am again going to give you an overview over it. So to start, first of all, you should have a rough idea over the periodic table. So you don't need to cram it. So you can have this periodic table. This is a rough idea. This only you need to define the properties. This is along the period, and this is along the across the period and along the group. Okay, this is period, and this is up to down. This is group. Okay, this is group. So you can say this also from left to right, which is known as periods, and up to down, that is known as group. So let's start with very first property, that is atomic radius or atomic size. So what is atomic size? Atomic size is what, or atomic radius is what? Suppose this is a nucleus and this is a shell, or this is an atom. Okay, and this distance of the nucleus from the outermost electron, that is known as what? Atomic radius. Or this will give you an exact idea about the what? Atomic size. Okay, so this atomic size mainly depend on nuclear charge. If nuclear charge is more, suppose I am giving you two nucleus, it is having some more power, it is having less power. Again I am drawing. Suppose this is first nuclear charge and this is second nucleus charge. There are some shells around it, there are two shells around it in both of cases. Suppose I know in this case nuclear charge is more, in this case nuclear charge is less. So what you can say, this nucleus will hold the electrons more tightly because it is having a more nuclear charge. But this nuclear charge in in the second model, this nucleus has less charge, so it will not hold the electron so tightly. If it does not hold the electron more tightly, that means the electrons will be loosely bound and they will be allowed to escape from the atom, so their size will be more. Again I am reading. Suppose in this first case nuclear charge is more, that means nucleus will hold the electron more tightly as compared to the second one. So due to this reason atomic size will decrease, because it is basically what, in case of nuclear charge when increase, the atomic size will decrease because electron will be more tightly bound towards the what, towards the nucleus. Okay, so now we have to tell about the variation along the period or along the group. Okay, so variation along the period, in general we says atomic radii decreases with increase in atomic number, whereas in groups the atomic radii increases from top to the bottom, means from up to the down it increases. Let's see how. Let's move to our periodic table that I have made. Suppose if I am going to read about across the period, you can see here is lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine. So number of shells are 2 in each case. Across the number of shells are 2. Okay, but atomic number is increased. Atomic number of lithium is 3, beryllium is 4, boron is 5, carbon is 6, so up to so on. So as atomic number increases, more the atomic number, more will be the nuclear charge. But here I can say nuclear charge is increasing, but number of shells remain same across the period, because there are only two shells, as you can see here. Okay, there are only two shells across the period. So nuclear charge is increasing, means the power to attract the electron is increasing, but the shells remain same. Only two shells are there from the starting to the end. So it will so I can say across the period because nuclear charge is increasing. So fluorine, oxygen, they will have more nuclear charge, they can attract the electron more tightly. So the atomic size of the fluorine will be very less as compared to the lithium, because lithium atomic number is 3, nuclear charge is only 3, means 3 protons are there. Okay, so atomic size across the period, it will decrease. The reason behind is atomic nuclear charge is increasing across the period because number of shells remains same. Whereas if I have to talk about along the group, you can see here is one shell, here is two shell, here is three shell, that is 281, here is four shell, 2881, because atomic number is increasing and number of shell is also increases. If number of shell increases, that means nuclear power according to the atomic number that will decrease. Okay, means if number of shells increases, then nuclear charge decreases. So if nuclear charge decreases, the size will be more in case of potassium, and less in case of sodium, less in lithium, less in hydrogen. Again I'm repeating, when I am going to move down, or I am going to read about from up to down, number of shells in first case is 1, next is 2, third, next is in case of sodium it is 3, in case of potassium it is 4. So there are 4 shells in case of potassium. So as number of shells increases, the distance of the nucleus from the outermost shell again increases. If distance increases, nuclear charge decreases. Okay, because potassium has 4 shells, sodium has 3 shells. So potassium, in case of potassium, the last electron have very less pull towards it, so size will be increased in case of potassium. So as we move down the group, because number of shells are increased, so nuclear charge decrease, so atomic size will increase. Okay, so as we have discussed, variation in period, atomic radii decreases with increase in atomic number. This is due to increase in nuclear charge. But in case of group, we know atomic radii increases. The reason is when we move from up to down, the number of shells increases. That's why atomic size increases, because in each period one more basically shell is added. Okay, now let's move to another property, that is metallic character. Metallic character means tendency to form metals. Okay, tendency of an element to become metal is known as metallic character. And now the question is, what do you mean by metal? What are metal? Metals are those which can lose electron. For example, sodium, it's 2, 8 and 1 because its atomic number is 11. When it loses electron, it will become Na positive and it will behave as a metal. So element which loses electron more readily, means more easily, that will show the greater metallic character. Okay, so we have to now talk about the variation of the properties along the period and in a group. So when we are moving across the period, we know when we are moving across the period, nuclear charge is increasing. Okay, so when we move across the period, nuclear charge increases. If nuclear charge increases, then we are in the need of greater amount of energy. Again I'm repeating, when we are moving across the period from lithium to the fluorine, again I can show you this table. When we are moving across the period, we know shells remain same but nuclear charge increases. So I need a greater amount of energy to make this fluorine to lose electron. Whereas in the case of lithium, I can give very less amount of energy because it has less nuclear charge. Okay, so it can lose electron more easily. So as we move along the period, as a result, because nuclear charge is increasing, I have to give extra amount of energy so they will not lose electron readily. One more reason you can find, lithium can donate 1 electron to complete its octet, beryllium can give, boron can give, but in case oxygen, it is 2 and 6, it is 2 and 6, it requires 2 electron to stabilize, it will not donate. So it will not show any metallic character. So across the period, metallic character decreases due to increase in nuclear charge. But as we move down the group, we know number of shells are increasing. If number of shells are increasing, nuclear charges decreases. If nuclear charge decreases, then what will be its result? It will be more easy for an element to lose electron, because in case of potassium, suppose I am writing in case of potassium, it is 2881. This last electron will have very less force of attraction toward the nucleus of the potassium, so it can be lose very readily as compared to sodium, because it has only 3 shells. Okay, so as we move down the group, okay, so because nuclear charge decreases, atomic size increases, so these elements can lose electron more readily or more easily as compared to the other elements. So as we move down the group, due to increase in number of shells or decrease in nuclear charge, the metallic character decreases. Okay, metallic character decreases. Now we can talk about another property, that is non-metallic character. It is just opposite to the metallic character. What will be the non-metallic character? The tendency of an element to become non-metal. For example, the fluorine, when it gains electron, it becomes F negative. Okay, so it becomes, when it gains electron, that means it is a non-metal. For example, oxygen, its atomic number is 8, so 2 and 6, so it will require 2 electron. When it gain 2 electron, it will become O2 negative, so it is called a non-metal. Now we have to study their variation along the period and along the group. So as we know, across the period, nuclear charge increases. If nuclear charge increases across a period, that means it will be easy for the element to gain electron rather than to lose. Okay, again I can show you the periodic table. Okay, suppose here is a periodic table. Lithium has very less nuclear charge as compared to the fluorine, so lithium will lose electron but fluorine cannot lose. Oxygen will not lose, they will gain the electron. So as we move across the period, you will see the tendency to gain electron increases, so non-metallic character also increases. But as we move down the group, we know number of shells increases, nuclear charge decreases. If nuclear charge decreases, how a nucleus can attract other elements electron? Okay, again I'm repeating. If nuclear charge decreases in case of potassium, how it can basically attract the other elements electron so that it can gain 7 electron? Okay, because potassium atomic number is 2887, 881. Okay, this one, it has two possibility: either to become stable, it can donate 1 electron. Okay, it can donate 1 electron, or it can gain 7 electron. To gain 7 electron, it needs so much greater amount of nuclear charge. Okay, which is this element is not having, so it lose 1 electron and becomes stable, so it will not behave as a non-metal. So as we move down the group, tendency to become non-metal decreases. Okay, tendency to become non-metal decreases. Now let's talk about next property, that is ionization enthalpy. Ionization enthalpy, again it depends on the nuclear charge. Ionization enthalpy is the energy needed to remove the last electron from the outermost shell of an gaseous atom or any atom. Okay, for example, I am giving you a case of sodium. Okay, one is sodium and one is fluorine. Okay, sodium atomic number is 11, that is 2, 8 and 1, and fluorine is 2 and 7. We know to become stable, it will lose 1 electron, and this fluorine wants to gain 1 electron. Okay, so these are two separated cases. So sodium wants to donate 1 electron and fluorine wants to gain 1 electron. And if I want from both of them to lose electron, if I give just a very small amount of energy, so sodium first of all lose their electron because it already wants to lose electron, whereas in case of fluorine it requires a larger amount of energy. Reason is it will gain electron, it will not lose, because to become stable it can gain one electron. Okay, so fluorine requires greater amount of energy. Reason is it is due to non-metallic electron, or you can say the nuclear charge is more. Okay, so as ionization enthalpy is energy required to lose electron from the outermost shell of an atom. So across the period, ionization enthalpy basically across the period increases, because we have to give extra amount of energy in case of periods, because nuclear charge increases. In case of groups, when we move from up to down, we have electrons are, we know nuclear charge is decreased. So if nuclear charge is less, then we can give a very small amount of energy, and what will happen, they can lose electron very easily. So as we move down the group, the ionization enthalpy decreases. Okay, in the case of groups, ionization enthalpy decreases. In case of periods, it increases, because in periods the nuclear charge increases. In case of groups, nuclear charge decreases. Okay, so now we will talk about some factors on which it depends. So first one factor is size of the atom. If the size of the atom decreases, because if, as we have considered, along the period size decreases. If size decreases, that means nuclear charge is more. If nuclear charge is more, then we will require a greater amount of energy to lose electron from outermost shell, because nucleus will be going to tightly bound the electron. So along the period, if a size decreases, then we have to give a larger amount of energy. So ionization decrease. So if size is more, and then we have to give a very less amount of energy. For example, we have seen in case of potassium, its size is very much, so it requires very small amount of energy to lose electron. Whereas in case of fluorine or oxygen, we know they are tightly bound. The reason is shell is they are having only two shells, or they are having very larger nuclear charge. Okay, so second one is charge on nucleus, same as it is. If charge on nucleus is increased, then we have to give extra amount of energy. So ionization energy basically increases. Ionization energy or enthalpy basically increases with increase in nuclear charge, because we will require a greater amount of energy in case we want to lose electron from particular atom. Okay, now third one is screening effect, screening and penetration effect. This screening and penetration effect is very important. So if a screening effect basically decrease, if screening effect decreases, then ionization enthalpy increase. Or if screening effect increase, screening effect increases, ionization enthalpy will decrease. Similarly, penetration effect, when ionization enthalpy basically increases with increase in penetration effect. Let's talk in detail about this screening and penetration effect. So let's talk in detail about screening effect. Suppose for this you can consider any structure of an atom. Suppose at the center we know there is nucleus in an atom, and around it there are some energy levels, or there are some shells which are K, L, M up to so on. So electrons are basically revolve around this. Okay, electrons are revolving around this nucleus in a definite orbit, which is called energy levels, that is K, L, M and shells. So I can conclude one thing: the electrons are revolving around the nucleus. This is due to the nuclear charge. Or one more thing I can conclude here: the electrons are staying inside the atom. This and this is only due to the presence of nuclear charge. Means electron is a charge, nuclear charge is a charge which is responsible for an binding of the electron inside an atom. Okay, so so one more thing I can conclude here. You can see from the diagram, this is first shell, okay, this is second shell, this is third shell. So as you can see, the distance of the first shell is very small as compared to the second and third shell. So first of all, force of attraction which will be exerted by the nucleus, it will be more in case of first shell. That means first shell electron will have more attraction toward the nucleus because distance is very small. But if we consider second shell, they will have the less amount of attraction towards the nucleus because distance is more. And third shell will have the very less amount of force of attraction towards the nucleus due to the distance factor again. And I can conclude one more thing here is, these electrons which are in the first shell, the electrons which are basically in the first shell, they will use some amount of force of attraction from the nucleus, and the other amount of the force of attraction will be released for the next shell. Similarly, it can be for second shell, electron will use some force of attraction which was exerted by the nucleus, and left energy will be given out to the third shell. So from this thing you can conclude one thing, the third shell will have very less force of attraction towards the nucleus, and second shell also will have the less force of attraction as compared to the first. Okay, so this screening of the force of attraction or shielding of the force of attraction which was exerted by the nucleus, that is known as screening effect. Means first shell electron will basically shield some amount of force of attraction, then it will be some amount of will be released to the another shell, up to so on to the other shell. So last shell electron will have very less force of attraction towards the nucleus, and they can be easily loose, means they can be easily donated because they are not strongly bounded towards the nucleus. The reason behind is that first and second shell electrons are basically screening the or shielding the force of attraction. So third shell electrons will have less amount of energy or less amount of force of attraction towards nucleus. So this effect is basically known as screening effect. Okay, means I can say the first shell electron and second shell electrons are basically screening the force of attraction which was exerted by the nucleus. Or I can say the outermost electrons are shielded or screened from the nucleus by the inner electrons. This effect is known as screening effect or shielding effect or inert pair effect is also. Okay, so these are the name given to this effect, and it plays a very crucial role when we are studying the properties of any kind of atom. Let's talk about one more important effect, that is penetration effect. So in this effect, suppose again I am drawing here a nucleus. There are s electrons are there, p electrons are there, d electrons are there. So you can say one more thing, that the electrons which are innermost or near the nucleus are being strongly attracted by the nucleus. Okay, again I am repeating, the electrons which are near to the nucleus, they are being strongly attracted by the nucleus. So so I can say one more thing, the probability to finding the electron near the nucleus in the case of this shell will be more, or I can say for the s electrons will be more. We know there are s electrons, p electrons and d electrons, and f electrons are there. So the penetration means which are very close to the nucleus, they are they can be found very easily inside the nucleus, that will be the s electrons. So the electrons which are very near to the nucleus, they are known as basically they are more penetrated, means the probability to lose that kind of electron which are near to nucleus is very less, because they are having very strong force of attraction towards the nucleus. Means s electron which are near to the nucleus, it will be very difficult to lose. The reason is they are they are having a very larger force of attraction towards the nucleus, so they can't be loose so easily. So in order to make this electron being donated by that atom, you have to give a larger amount of energy in case of s electrons, and you have to give less amount of energy in case of p electrons and d electrons. The reason is s electron are closer, p electron is away from the nucleus, and d is more away from the nucleus. So this effect is known as what? This effect is known as penetration effect. So it means the s electron will have more penetration effect because they are very close to the nucleus. So you will need more amount of energy in case you want to lose s electron as compared to p or d or f electrons. This is about the penetration effect. Next one is electronic arrangement. Okay, this electronic arrangement also plays a very important role. In case of noble gases, we know noble gases are those in which their octet is already completed. So if they are stable, so they require basically higher amount of energy to make the electron loose. Again, for example, neon atomic number is 10, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. So their octet and their shells are already completed, so they will require a greater amount of energy, means greater ionization enthalpy, in case if we want to lose the electron. So elements like beryllium and magnesium, their shells are already filled, like 3s2 and 2s2, their shells are completely filled, so they also required a greater amount of energy. And one more case that we can discuss, in case we are having half filled, like 3p1, 3py1, 3pz1. Okay, in case of nitrogen, phosphorus, like in these cases half filled are more stable as compared to the fully filled. So if you are having two elements, one is half filled and another one is fully filled, so they are basically half filled are more stable as compared to the fully filled. This we have discussed in our previous chapter. You can watch that video to how to make this kind of electronic arrangement. Okay, in next video I am going to continue this chapter. Thank you.